I'm quite overwhelmed by how much I enjoyed Driving Miss Daisy. I assumed that I would like it to some degree. It's a very popular, successful film. There must have been something about it that was going to appeal. But I didn't realise how much I would be engaged by it and how much it would have a lasting effect on me. Granted, I only watched it yesterday, but I still find myself thinking about it quite frequently, and I expect I will do for quite some time. This was released in 1989, directed by Bruce Beresford, written by Alfred Uhry, and stars the brilliant Morgan Freeman as Hoke Colburn and Jessica Tandy as Daisy. We also have Dan Aykroyd, Patti LuPone, really fantastic cast across the board. And obviously that's reflected in the quality of the acting, and I think it was very important that they got the cast right here because the characters are definitely the driving forces here, namely Hoke and Daisy, which I guess goes without saying. The narrative on the surface is pretty straightforward. I'll read the description from IMDb, and this says an old Jewish woman and her African American chauffeur in the American South have a relationship that grows and improves over the years. And it is basically about the relationship between these two characters. We do get a lot of political insight. We get not an abundance of attitudes towards black individuals, but at the same time, that is actually quite prominent. And I know that's contradictory, but I hope, if you've seen it, I hope you understand what I mean by that. It's not a film about attitudes towards black people, but at the same time, it's kind of peppered right throughout the film. And a lot of it, of course, is about the relationship between these two characters, who are quite different. Hoke has a bit more of a free spirit. He is a fun-loving spirit, but also very serious. He is worldly, he is educated in the ways of the world, but he is illiterate, which gives us one of the most beautiful scenes in the whole film. I won't spoil too much, but just look out for the scene in the graveyard, which sounds morbid, but it's actually such a sweet, lovely film. And that moment for me kind of signaled the turning point with the relationship between Hoke and Daisy. I found that point from then, Daisy kind of let her guard down a bit and began to invite this other person into her life. She's very reserved, very prim and proper, and also doesn't believe to begin with that she needs a chauffeur. So she's kind of reluctant to begin with to have this other person in her life, which obviously means that she's not exactly going to be warm and welcoming to this individual. But as the film progresses, she lets her guard down. We learn more about both of the characters. They each have different experiences. There's one scene which annoyed me, but it was beautifully done. And it's a scene involving the two police officers who query the identity of the owner of the car. That's all I'm going to say. But it annoyed me, but it was very well done. And it was brief. They didn't put too much emphasis on it. They didn't make a song and dance out of it and saying, look, this is the way certain people are treated. It was just presented as a thing that people go through constantly back then, even now. And that, as I said, is kind of peppered throughout, and it's very effectively done. I won't say how it ends, but I thought it was one of the most beautiful final few scenes of a film I've ever seen. And it worked exceptionally well. It's quite funny. It's not a comedy, it is a drama, but there are times, certainly with Hoke and Daisy, both of them have quite funny, kind of dry humour, witty remarks. Just things that you wouldn't expect them to come out with that kind of makes you chuckle and provides a little bit of light relief throughout. And even though there's no real narrative, well, I guess I was going to say there's no kind of rising action, but the action is the relationship, the way it develops, the way it grows, the problems they encounter. It's not easy sailing. And the characters, and the more we learn about them, the more they open up. That itself, the characters are the narrative. And as I said, I knew I'd like it because I like Morgan Freeman. So I knew I'd at least enjoy his performance. But I should point out it's set in the 1950s as well. I don't think I mentioned that, which gives us a really different atmosphere and attitudes, which are prevalent throughout. It's brilliant. I can't express enough how good this is, and I don't think I can put into words what you can expect from this. I went in with no knowledge of what it was about. Um, Obviously, I knew the basic, um, but I didn't know any specific details about it, and I kind of think you should do the same. Don't do too much reading about it. I may have spoiled some of it by kind of explaining some things, but don't do any more reading about it then. It's worth pointing out as well that Jessica Tandy actually won the Best Actress Oscar. She was 81 and was the oldest winner of the I don't know. I don't know why I can't say that. The oldest winner of the Best Actress Oscar. I believe that is still the case. And she was apparently the oldest ever winner of a competitive Oscar until 2012 when Christopher Plummer won the Best Supporting Actor at aged 82. This is all from IMDb. I'm assuming this is fact. I'm losing my ability to speak. This film has completely just mesmerized me and stunned me. It's stunning in every way possible. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Absolutely worth watching. It's beautifully shot. A lot of very soft colors. It's very gentle. It's a very delicate film, which actually gives quite a strong contrast with Miss Daisy's spunky personality. She's got a lot of fight in her. She knows who she is. She knows her own person, and Hoke gets a lot of humor out of that because you can tell he just wants her to chill out. You know, you kind of just expect him to say that if it wasn't the 1950s. So even though they're contrasting individuals, it's beautiful to watch. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. There is a reason. Yes, there are a lot of reasons. There are numerous reasons why Driving Miss Daisy is an absolutely exquisite popular film.